Happy New Year, everyone. I know I said I wasn't going to make a 2025 rewards video, but I'm going to do it anyway, because the next UFC card isn't until like 20 days, 20 summit days, and it's ridiculous that I'm losing brain cells here. I need something to talk about. It's hard to come up with original ideas. So instead of doing original ideas, I thought I'd do rewards videos. So let's get into it. I'm going to do some funny ones to begin with, and then we'll go into the basic shit like fighter of the year, finish of the year, this, that, and the other of the year. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. So the first one I came up with was biggest NPC performances of the year. And how this is going to work is I'm going to pretty much do the top three. I'm going to do top three. So at number 3, we've got Leon Edwards. Because this year has been a massive aura loss for him, even though he had no aura to begin with. He first started off the year by getting dropped on his head by Leon Edwards, and that's how everyone knew him at the beginning of the year. I know that didn't take place in the year, but let me explain. And then he fights Brady, and according to Brady, he was talking a lot of shit in the build-up. I don't know if he was. I think Brady's kind of got a bit of a small man syndrome, and to be fair, it seemed to have worked, because Leon Edwards pretty much just laid on his back the entire fight and didn't even attempt to get up. Yeah, and when he would attempt to get up, he would attempt to get up at the end of the round instead of in the middle of the round. I know to play it all safe and that, this, that, and the other, but that's always been Leon Edwards' main problem. He'll either play it way too safe and lose the fight, or he'll just be slightly better than his opponent, and we're starting to see that now. And then against Carlos Prates, I think his literal game plan was to hold him up against offensive 3 rounds. I genuinely believe that. I know he got like the back position, which that's turned into a meme, but like his game plan was not to take Prates down, if you get me. Even though he did get him down, but yeah. But I've got Leon Edwards at number 3 because this has been a fucking shit year for a minute. I'm rooting for you in 2026. I'm rooting for you this year. Yeah, you're gonna make the comeback. You're gonna fight. I don't know who you're gonna fight. They're all difficult matchups coming up. But let's just get on to the next one. And at number 2, I'm being forced to put Jamal Hill here. And if you know me, you know I do like Jamal Hill. I think he's really funny. But I can't lie, your performances this year have been shit. You pretty much walked in a straight line towards Khalil Roundtree for 5 rounds straight, getting the legs blasted off you repeatedly, falling on your ass. It was pretty pathetic to watch, especially considering that I knew this was going to happen, but then for some reason I saw everyone else choosing like Jamal Hill, and I decided to record a very, very quick video saying that I'm changing my pick to Hill, and yeah. That turned out brilliantly, didn't it? And then he obviously fought Prohaska at the beginning of the year, and he basically did the same thing, but because Prohaska like doesn't move his head, he was hitting him a lot more, having a lot more success, but he was still doing the exact same thing, walking on a straight line, getting pieced up. Like, I had him winning a round, but barely. Like, that's a 50-50 round, and then he obviously got finished in the 3rd round. But for NPC of the year, I'm having to put Jamal Hill at number 2, and for the very very stupidly low chance that Jamal Hill ends up stumbling across this video. I do like you, mate, but your fights this year have been pretty fucking pathetic. But moving on. And at number 1, we've got Marvin Vettori, because for some reason every time Marvin Vettori fights, this video is already 5 minutes long. Fuck. Do I do part 1? No, we're just going to continue. But for some reason with Marvin Vettori, it seems to figure out with him that he's figuring out how to fight during the fight. He's learning how to fight on the job, essentially. It's like they've just put a beginner in there, and they've just taught him the basic punches, jab, cross mainly. And yeah, it's like he's just learned how to punch on the day of the job, and he's like, when he actually hits, he goes jab, cross, jab, cross, cross, jab. Jab, jab, cross. It's so you can literally hit like you can literally see his thinking watching him fight, and he has fought 3 times this year. I thought it was 2. I'm gonna have to change my worst fighters of the year list in a second because it was 2. I thought it was 2, so I didn't put him on the list. I might change that, I might not, because I've already done these pictures of the top 3. But he's fought Brendan Allen, which, in all fairness, he was actually scrambling pretty well with, but like he was still doing the dumb shit, and he managed to low IQ lose to Brendan Allen, out of all people. But Brendan Allen seems to be getting better and better with his IQ problems. Not Vettori, though, not Vettori. And people try to act like this defense for Israel Adesanya is really fucking good. No, it's not. Don't lie to me. Don't try and gaslight me. Obviously, he lost to Roman Dolidze, a guy he literally beat like 2 years ago from the fight. So, yeah, that was pretty sad. But Marvin Vettori's downfall has been something else. He also lost to Bruno Ferreira, but I didn't watch that one because it was on the prelims and I had work in the morning of that card. So, yeah, I only watched the main card for that one, and I still need to go back and watch that one, so I'm not going to give any feedback on that fight at all in case I'm just going to like get it wrong and look like an absolute casual. So I didn't watch that one. I need to rewatch that card. I haven't watched it yet, so I'll just assume it was shit, even though I just said I wouldn't, but I'll just assume it was shit. And this video is already 7 minutes long. This is going to be like an hour video. I swear to fucking God, there's going to be an hour long video, and it's going to take fucking ages to export. I'm doing this on a fucking iPad because I can't afford a laptop or a PC. This is going to be such a long video, so I probably need to shut up and actually like hurry it up a bit. Now for the next topic, I've got worst fights of the year, and after realising it was supposed to be worst fighters of the year, but then I just changed it up because I couldn't be asked going on Tapology because I didn't have internet at the time, and the internet wasn't working, and it was pretty hard to get on Tapology when your internet doesn't work. But we did worst fights of the year, and you can already guess what 2 of these fights are because they were so in high demand, and we were expecting some fucking fireworks, and we got shit. And number 1, you probably forgot it happened, but it did happen, and it was awful. So let's just get straight into it then. At 3, we've got Islam Makhachev versus JDM. Because we expected, let's be honest, we all expected this to be some fireworks of a scrap. It wasn't, obviously. When these Russians are like, there's a reason the channel name is Anti-Dagestan MMA. We are sick of them. They ruin the sport. I don't want any harm on them. I need to make that very fucking clear because it could be against community guidelines, and I need money. JDM versus Makhachev. This fight was fucking shit. Like, this fight was terrible. I remember staying up and being like, why the fuck? I made sure I booked my holidays in for this weekend, and I was like, why the fuck did I do that? I should have just went to work. This was pathetic. Although the rest of the card was really good, but like that genuinely made me question my life choices. That was like, that was so fucking bad. It's every time they get a slightly risky matchup, these fucking Russians, they just lay in top position. And although I thought when Islam would try to do this, laying in top position, I thought JDM would be able to create a scramble. But obviously Islam's just like too inbred and just kind of like sits on top of him. And you know, like most people from like the West, let's just put it that way, would like feel very gay in those like positions. Not in Dagestan, because if you get in that country, you get your head cut off or something, or whatever the fuck it is there. What even is it? I should probably Google that before joking about it, but yeah, because for all I know, they might be like really accepting of them. You know, they might have like big ass fucking parades in the street of Dagestan, and yeah, I just don't know about it. But yeah, at number 3, we've got JDM, and the video is 10 minutes long already. This is going to be a long one. This is going to be a long one to edit. It's not even edit. It's like, it's not even the fact of editing. It's that the fact. It's the fact I've got to drag the stuff, the pictures along across an hour video, because I'm shit at editing and I refuse to edit ever again. Yeah, maybe I should just buy a webcam and just put a mask on because I'm ugly as fuck. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should. Maybe I should do that after I buy a laptop, so to get more storage. But yeah, let's move on to number 2. At number 2, we have got Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev, and let me tell you something, if you wanted to swap these two round, you could, because they were basically the exact same fight, only that Dricus won a round in the last round. He won that round. I don't know how people scored this at 50-45 when Dricus clearly won the last round. That shit baffles me. But yeah, Chimaev DDP, the only entertaining part was the last round, because I thought Dricus was about to fumble the fight. Well, not fumble the fight, I thought he was about to I thought Chimaev was going to fumble the fight, but no, we didn't get that. We didn't get that blessing, unfortunately. We got Khamzat Chimaev as champion. By the sounds of it, he's never going to defend the belt. We're just going to have an interim belt or something between like fucking Anthony Hernandez and Sean Strickland. That'll be a great matchup, won't it? Hey, the division is shit, man. But in this fight, you know, it was a like grand total of like the least significant strikes in a title fight ever, I think it was. I think I saw it somewhere, or it's in the realm of that. That was really good, because pretty much Chimaev just sat in crucifix position and he did absolutely fucking nothing. He did nothing at all. He just kind of laid in top position, a little tappy shots for 25 minutes this was, by the way, but people really like his style, by the way, just so you mention. They were really happy when that style of fighter won the fight and won the belt. We no longer get Dricus, who scraps and doesn't care about his well-being at all in his fights. Look at the first Sean Strickland fight, even the second Sean Strickland fight, right? He didn't care about that shit. No. We want Khamzat Chimaev to lay in top position for 25 fucking minutes. And then run around the fucking cage and scream like he just beat fucking, I don't know, beat Islam Makhachev with knockout. You know what I mean? By knockout. Even though I don't even think Islam's a pound-for-pound fighter. I think Ilya is. Yeah. But moving on to number 1. At number 1, we've got Valentin versus Torres Finney. Now let me just read out the stats for this fight, because I think this just does it justice. Right, significant strikes, 8 significant strikes. How many of those landed? 4 of them. That's Torres Finney. For Robert Valentin, it was 23 out of 38. And then how many control? Oh, it doesn't even say control time. He laid on top of him, literally laid on top of him, doing nothing. Like, you know, we joke about it saying the Dagestanis do it, even though they literally just like little tappy shots like that, right? That's not even what he did. He literally laid on him. Like, I can't even make this any more clear. He literally just laid on him. Nothing. No strikes, no submissions. Laid on him. He had a few big takedowns, and then he continued to lay on him. He made Bilal Muhammad look like a fucking world-class, entertaining, pound-for-pound, must-watch fighter. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And, yeah, I remember calling him the boringest fighter on the roster. I stand by that. I hope he continues to fight once a year. Preferably, not fight at all. That would be really great. You just keep fighting in the gym, bro. I think UFC should pay Torres Finney not to fight. That would be really good for the company. Or here's another one. Just cut him from the company. Why not just do that? Because he is just ruining the sport. Dana White was onto something when he said, you're not UFC level. You're not. Off to PFL, buddy. But moving on to the next topic. The next one I came up with was most disappointing fights of the year. And let me tell you something, there was fucking loads in this fight. Loads of them. There were so many disappointing fights this year, so let's get into it. So at number 1, we've got Makhachev versus Sarukian / Moicano. Why? Because I was probably the only person on this fucking planet who was like super excited for this and actually thought Arman Sarukian actually stood a chance. And for once, the Dagestani didn't pull out. I know, how surprising. The Armenian pulled out. The only Armenian on the roster, and for some reason he pulled out. It was his brack, apparently. Yeah, I just think he couldn't make the weight and was like, well, fuck this. If you're not going to give me the title shot if I don't make weight, fuck it. I ain't fighting for a belt if I can't win the belt. So, yeah. Yeah, and then instead of that, you know what we got? We got Moicano. And although we love Moicano here, he didn't stand a fucking chance and he got submitted in a round. Although he did drop Islam. So, yeah, that's something. But I was so hyped for this fight. I was so excited. True story, by the way. I started my channel for UFC 311. It was supposed to start a lot earlier than that, but I was too much of a pussy. So, yeah, that took its time. But, yeah, my first video was actually UFC 311 predictions. If you want to go watch that for nostalgia's sake, even though not much nostalgia, just my annoying ass voice. But, yeah, I was super excited for this. I really thought Arman Sarukian stood a chance, and I think he would have. Looking back at it, what your fucking Dagestani brother just lost the fight before, and now you're gonna go fight your toughest test. Probably still his toughest test, by the way. If he moved back down to thingy, I think he might still be his toughest test, just behind Ilya. I think they're the only two people who can probably beat him at lightweight, Ilya and Arman. And yeah, we didn't get to see that fight. It was a very strong possibility he could have lost that one, and I would have loved it. I would have fucking ran around the street, the house, the fucking country. I would have loved life, but yeah, it didn't happen. So yeah, we'll move on to the next one. And at number 2, we've got JDM versus Makhachev again, because it was that bad. I really thought JDM could have got this done, and maybe that's my bias. But even if Makhachev got it done, I still thought he would have done better than that. Like, I was the one with this take, right? And it is retarded, and everyone's gonna laugh at me. But like, I thought this fight had more chance going to a finish on either side by KO than it did submission on either side or decision. I know, that was retarded, that, wasn't it? Makhachev essentially laid on top, as we've already previously stated in the last section, last topic, whatever, what we even calling this topics, we'll do it topics. JDM, really disappointed. I'd love to know if he was injured going into that fight, because it literally looked like he tried to do nothing and make it look like he did nothing. Or maybe he's just always been shit at grappling, and he may have deceived us with the Bilal Muhammad performance, which is actually somewhere else on the topics of this. I will find out that when we get through them all. But yeah, I was really disappointed by this fight, especially since we just had Morales knock fucking Sean Brady into another fucking room. Like, he literally just put a dress on him and fucked him over for his title shot. That's so fucked, by the way. So fucked. He was literally title run. He was literally on a title run, and then just went bang, fuck off, essentially. And we had like Carlos Prates knocking out Leon Edwards, and then we have fucking what else on that card? I can't remember. Benoit Saint-Denis was on the card too. Was there a bombing? Yeah, there was a boring women's fight on the card. I remember that now. But yeah, we essentially had all these fun knockouts, and then the women got on, bored up the thing, and then they brought Dagestani on straight afterwards. And yeah, everyone fell asleep, including the people of Dagestan, so they could wake up in the morning and then be like, well, we are different. Actually, you know what? It's not the Dagestanis. It's more like, fuck it, the Pakistanis. You know, the Indians, the other Muslim countries, the Iranians, the fucking Syrians, the Iraqis, all they were like, we are different, but like, none of yous have got a fighter. And it's just like, now you're just buzzing off a Russian. We know Russians are fucking crazy good at fighting. That's just a fact of life. But yous are not. Yous are not. But yeah, on to the next one. And at number 1, we've got Dricus du Plessis versus Chimaev. You probably guessed that one would be number 1. You could swap JDM versus Makachev or Dricus versus Chimaev. You could drop them around. I think I've just fucked up the wording of that. But you could swap them around if you really wanted to. I couldn't care less. But both these fights were probably the most disappointing fights this year. They both just laid in top position doing nothing. But at least with the Dricus fight, Dricus won around the last round, except from the judges who don't know how to score fights. Literally, UFC, hire me. I've read the rules. I know how to score fights. Please hire me. I know how to score fights. Clearly, the judges that you employ do not know how to score fights, and they seem to ruin every fun contender we have. I will not do that. I will have bias. If there's a super close fight, I will go straight for the one that isn't Dagestani or from the Caucasus Mountain. Don't you worry about that. Just can we stop? But yeah, same points. Just Chimaev. And the next one I've somehow came up with was the most satisfying loss of the year. I put lose like a fucking idiot. I'm dyslexic, but loss of the year. And yeah, we've got some fun ones on here, so let's go. At number 3, we've got Merab Dvalishvili. And I was so happy when this guy lost, honestly. He couldn't have lost to a better opponent, by the way. I'm just saying, right? Because if he lost to Umar, I would have been like, well, Umar's entertaining, but his fan base is fucking gay, you know what I mean? Then, if he lost to Sean O'Malley, he would have just had, like, instant hate, you know what I mean? He would have just had, like, for some reason, people like to hate on Sean O'Malley. Like, I really like his style. I just think he's boring as fuck in terms of personality, and he needs to start being, like, funny. Like, the COVID mask, that was semi-funny, but you need to be, you know, you can't say you're going to be bigger than Conor McGregor and not have a personality. That's just my thing, right? But for some reason, we just like to, like, shit on Sean O'Malley because he's a big star coming up. But he's not even a big star, to be fair. But, like, UFC want him to be a big star. And, yeah, if he won that one, then there would have just been, like, Dana White privilege, you know what I mean? But they don't talk about the Dagestanis with Dana White privilege, though, do they? No, of course not. But, yeah. But if he lost to Sanhagen, Sanhagen is... he couldn't be worse than champion. Like, he has an alright style. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's too boring, sometimes it's really fun, right? Personality wise, he's so fucking shit. Like, he's such a, like, he's just the average person. And I like watching his breakdowns on YouTube, but, like, he's just an average Joe Schmo, you know what I mean? There's nothing special about him. He's just a basic human with basic talking points. But Peter Yan, although doesn't even speak a word of English, he's just a super fun fight style, hasn't he? He's just super fun. Like, Sean O'Malley's a super fun fight style, but I couldn't handle people on Twitter saying he's overrated and stuff like that. It would piss me off if he was champion. So, yeah. Peter Yan is champion. You know how good that is to say, finally, after him being pretty much robbed in 2 fights, essentially, and then the Merab fight where he was injured and still fought anyway, unlike Dagestanis, they just pull out. Yeah, I swear down, it's such a good reality we live in, man. Peter Yan is champion, never going to lose the belt. He beats fucking Merab in the rematch. He's going to beat Umar. He's going to beat O'Malley again. And then he's going to fucking rule the division. He's going to knock out everyone. And then he's going to retire. And then Alexandra Dupori is going to take over the division. And then we're going to glaze him because he's an Orthodox Christian and we've got to stand by our boys. But, you know, yeah. But let's move on to number 2, which is Gene Silva. Now, when Gene Silva got knocked out by Lopez, I literally jumped out of my bed. But, yeah, I jumped out my bed at like 3 a.m. after waking up, barely getting out of fucking bed to put the fucking fight on a totally legal stream. Yeah, we got this shit on. He lost. I ran round my room, went back to fucking bed. Yeah, was great. Was great to watch, especially after he's talking shit about my boy Bryce Mitchell. We love Bryce Mitchell. He's a bit fucking stupid, like, but we love Bryce Mitchell. And the more stupid shit he says, the more I'm starting not to like him. But then I remember it's Bryce Mitchell, and then I'm instantly liking him again. You know what I mean? Like it's like a big loop. It's like a loop, like a circular thing, where it's like person does this, and then repeat, and that is the Bryce Mitchell in a nutshell. Say something stupid, get fucking the entire community calling him stupid and this, that, and the other. Does something else stupid, same thing happens again. Rinse, repeat, over and over and over again. Or win or lose a fight in between each one. But yeah, watching Gene Silver getting knocked out was fucking amazing. He literally made his head look like an impulse grenade from Fortnite. I love that meme. I'm keeping that meme. Literally made him look like an impulse grenade. I love that. Literally looked like a World War II fucking hand grenade, if you want to look at one of them. Yeah. At number 1 we got Magomed Ankalaev, and we love this fight. We love this one. And this is versus Alex Pereira in the second one. This was lovely. This was lovely to watch. He did nothing. He backed up straight away. He got bitched around the cage. He threw a punch, got countered, got rocked. Obviously, their instinct is to sniff the penis. And Alex Pereira sprawls, punches him. Then they had to fake some fucking elbow injury to his rib, even though it was obviously to do with Alex Pereira literally elbowing him in that same rib, right? It was literally that same rib. And I ain't saying it for definite. He might have actually had a rib injury going into it, but like, it was most likely Alex Pereira, and they posted that afterwards to be like, well, this was actually before, when in reality it was afterwards, you know, that kind of effect. And yeah, every time these Dagestanis seem to lose, they always seem to have 101 excuses. But if you lose to them and have one excuse, like Conor McGregor fucking had a balloon as a foot. He didn't, but he had a balloon as a foot, and straight away they were like, yeah, he's making excuses, this, that, and the other. When Umar lost, I didn't see anyone making any comments about his millions excuses. Fucking, I broke my hand, I think I won this fight, I did this, I did that. No, you fucking never, mate, you lost. Ankalaev hasn't spoken a word since he lost that fight, which is great, even though we were kind of liking him, because he called out John Jones for being a bitch. And yeah, and I still think he beats John Jones. Just saying, John Jones is super overrated. I might even make an entire video. I'm putting that in my notes after I record this section to make a John Jones hate video, because I've got a lot to say about that. A lot to say about John Jones. But watching Ankalaev quit to the first decently hard punch landing on his chin was so beautiful to watch. It was so beautiful to watch. And then watching all the Pakistanis in his comment section like, you'll be back. No, you fucking won't, mate. You're dead. You are dead. Because now you're going to fight Yu Prochazka. And Yu Prochazka's just autism. Or he's on that spectrum. I'm slightly on the spectrum, right? Maybe in the middle. You know, maybe on the higher end. But Yuri, he's off the fucking, like, he's not off the limit. He's fucking, he takes injections to boost his autism. And I can't wait for that fight either. Even though Alex Pereira is probably going to leave the division, it's probably going to be Carlos Pratas versus Yu Prochazka, and that's going to be really fun to watch, because it's either going to be like tapping leg kicks at distance for 5 rounds, or it's going to be Yu Prochazka running across the cage and beating his fucking ass. But yeah, that'll be fun to watch. And Ankalaev, see you later, kid. We won't see you in the title picture ever again. Even though he probably wins his next fight, in all fairness, and I do think he's kind of underrated as a fighter, but you know, hey ho. But yeah, But because I'm dyslexic and I can't read or write, I misspelt this one and put most annoying fan base fights of the year when it was supposed to be just the most annoying fan base of the year. But this is the next topic, so let's get into number 3. So at number 1, we've got Jon Jones fans. Now, if you go on Twitter, you know why we hate Jon Jones fans. Jon Jones fans are fucking horrible. They usually black, but they're also liberals as well. So it's two backwards logic here. You've got liberals who are supposed to care for people, and then you've got the black people to obviously talk about the how Jon Jones is the GOAT, right? It's two backwards thing. Even though Jon Jones beats his own fucking wife, he does beat him, right? But they still support him. It makes zero sense, and obviously we know why. It's just because he is black, and that's just it. We know that's why they support him still, after even like booting his wife around the room and fucking punching her to pieces, leaving her in a pool of her own blood. That's in the police report. Read it up. Yeah, I want the worst for Jon Jones, and it's not because he's black. That was literally just a correlation there. I've noticed one thing with Jon Jones fans, which you're allowed to do, but there's loads of black MMA fighters who are better role models than Jon fucking Jones. But for Jon Jones, I really hope the worst for him. I really hate him. I'll never like him. If you ever see a video of mine where I'm glazing Jon Jones, I hope I get shot. I really hope I get shot. I really do. I hope I get my brains blown out. I really do. Yeah. Yeah, let's just move on because this is just boring. This is it. This is just simple stuff. Let's move on to number 2. And at number 2, we've got Dagestani fans. Now, I know we call them Dagestani fans, even though literally there is no Dagestani that glazes these fighters. They probably do glaze these fighters, but they're never Dagestani. They're always Pakistani, Indian, some self-hating white man, something else. MMA Joey is an example of a self-hating white man that just glazes Dagestanis, because if he didn't, he would get 0 views, and yeah, that's basically what he does, isn't he? What else? What other countries can I name? They're all from the Middle East and Northern Africa, the Muslim countries, and they just glaze the Dagestanis, thinking they're different, even though it's literally the only group of people in the world where they're in the sport who just so happen to be that religion and just so happen to be champions and just so happen to be this good, because there's no other fighters like that at all. There's no other fighters like that. I think I've already said this, haven't I? I've said this loads of times, but yeah, the Dagestani fans are awful. As well as that, they do threaten you. I'm getting ready to get threatened. If this channel goes big, I'm getting threatened. I know I'm going to get threatened. Have you seen the clip of the MMA guru talking about how they're sending him pictures of female family members and saying it would be bad if something happened to them and this, that and the other? That just goes to show. That just goes to show, to be honest. That just goes to show you fucking... That just goes to show. So when this channel gets big, I know I'm just going to get all that bullshit. So if it does get big even as well. But yeah, we'll move on to number 1, because I bet you won't expect this one. I bet you won't expect it. And at number 1, we have Georgian fans, for a pretty similar reason to the Dagestani fans. But with the Georgians, which makes absolutely no sense, is that they glaze Merab and Ilya and Alexandra Topuria and Roman Dolidze for some reason. I don't know why he's creeping himself into that category, even though he's absolute horseshit at fighting. He's absolute dog shit. I don't know how he's managed to mingle himself into that equation. But the thing is with these Georgian fighters, the fighters aren't Georgian. Ilya is Spanish. He is raised in Spain. He is Spanish. He is Spanish. Same for Alexandra Topuria, his brother, right? Merab, he is American. He grew up there. He is American. He has an American passport. he has American culture. He is American. He is from the United States, right? He is not Georgian. He is Georgian ethnically. He is not a Georgian fighter. He just so happens to be Georgian. You know, there's no point in me explaining it, but like, if you have a common sense and brain, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say. Merab is American. He's an American fighter that just so happens to be Georgian, right? And I've never understood, because if I'm not mistaken, when I've looked at American visas, because hopefully I want to move there at some point, because the UK is a complete cesspool at the moment. To have an American green card, you've literally got to align yourself with America. And there's loads of fighters who probably have green cards or stuff like that. And do they walk out with the American flag? Do they even claim America as their country, even though they live there? No. They claim fucking Mexico, Georgia, any other fucking country that isn't America. They claim probably fucking the biggest shithole in the world over America, which is probably the best country in the world. You know, yeah. You know what? How about you give me a visa in America? That would be really good, nice. I'd happily live in America. How about you deport these and bring me in? How about that? And I'll promise to not be an absolute degenerate, but that is unlikely, because I won't even leave my house because I'm fucking terrified of humans. But yeah, I've always found that a little bit funny. But yeah, well, the next topic is comeback of the year, and at number 3 I've put Yuri Prochazka, because at the beginning of this year we did not think that Yuri Prochazka would be in a winning streak. Let's put it that way. Right, he was coming off 2 KO losses to Alex Pereira, and we thought, with trying to be big brained or whatever, we thought if you get KO twice in a row, maybe, just maybe, your chin won't be the same. And considering that your entire fight style revolves around you being able to take shots, no. Yuri Prochazka's built different. He's European. He doesn't need a chin. He just walks through shit, pieces up fucking Jamal Hill, puts him out in the 3rd round. Was getting pieced up by Roundtree, makes the sign of the cross, and then puts Khalil out cold. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't expecting that. I was watching the fight live. I thought Prochazka was going to win. They sound so similar. And he was getting pretty much just leg kicked at range, Khalil just being boring. And then Yuri was like, right, this fight's too boring now, time to just blitz in like a retard. And he blitzed in like a retard and kept on getting caught. And then eventually he landed his shot, rocked him, and then fucking killed him. I really do think that the only person who can beat Yuri Prochazka is Pereira. I honestly think if you put Yuri down a weight class like he said he was going to do at one point, I reckon he would have beat Izzy in his prime. I do reckon that. Izzy's always struggled against pressure and people good with the hands. Yeah, and I'm just saying that because people seem to think that Adesanya is the best kickboxer in the UFC, even though there's multiple examples of him being pieced up. I know, this is MMA. This is MMA, and it's retarded. This is the retard sport. But now, Yuri Prochazka is on his way to a title shot, and what I'm thinking, or what I'm seeing actually, not what I'm thinking, I was thinking this, but yeah, he is now fighting Olberg at apparently 327, the Holloway card, I think. And yeah, apparently it's going to be for an interim belt, I'm hearing. I say I'm hearing, but like, it's literally just a post. It literally could be someone lying. But yeah, there's a lot of people posting it, so that's how I kind of categorise it. Like, oh, there's a lot of people posting about it, it must be real. But yeah. And at number 2, I've put Alexander Volkanovski, because at the beginning of this year, and I know he's only fought once, which I probably should have been at 3 realistically looking back at things, but I feel like he's fought better competition in Lopez than Yuri's fought in Hill and Khalil. Alexander Volkanovski was coming off 2 KO losses, right? 2 knockout losses, brutal knockouts, right? Obviously, the European knocked him out more brutally than the Dagestani. Just has to be mentioned. But yeah, he got knocked out twice. Nobody expected Volkanovski to come back and look better. He looked better. Like, yes or no, did he look better in this fight? Even though he lost 2 rounds, and he undeniably lost 2 rounds, it was a 3-2 decision, but, like, he looked better technically in this fight than he looked versus Brian Ortega, versus the Korean Zombie, even Max in the trilogy. I would say maybe the Makhachev fight, but in the Makhachev fight, it was mostly grappling based and not much striking. But yeah, he came back and he looks better. And I think now they're talking about... Oh, no, it's actually announced, isn't it? I keep forgetting. He's fighting Lopez again. And although I do think that Alexander Volkanovski is talking shit and he will retire in Australia, and for a slight reason, I kind of want Lopez to win, because Lopez as champion would be amazing, but at the same time, Evloev would probably fucking win the belt, and that's pretty shit, so I don't want that to happen. But, all good. But I've put Volkanovski here purely because he came off 2 knockout losses, came back, won the belt, pretty much was dominating in all the round essentially until he got knocked down in the second round, which wins him that round on damage, if you're not stupid. I know there's some people out there. The Volkanovski fans should be on that list of the worst fan bases of the year, because they're always terrible. There's some terrible takes. Around where he got dropped in, apparently he won. They annoy me sometimes, but like, Volkanovski's such a cool dude, you know, and he clearly lost the 4th round. Even the judges, who are retarded, knew that Volkanovski lost the 4th round. So it was a 3-2 decision. And yeah, I haven't really got much to argue other than that. That kind of speaks for itself. 2 knockout losses and a dominant-ish performance, pretty much. And at number 1, a pretty obvious pick. You have to put Benoit Saint-Denis. Benoit Saint-Denis at the beginning of this year was seen as a shithouse, essentially. Got fraud checked by Poirier in a fight he was winning. And he was doing better than Makhachev, by the way. Just thought I'd let you know. He was doing better than Makhachev. And, yeah, he lost to, who's the other guy as well? Moicano. He lost to Moicano as well, which is crazy. Really fucking crazy, right? Because Moicano, on hindsight, isn't that good. You know what I mean? Isn't that good at all, right? But he came back this year, and let me just pull up his Tapology for a second, because I've actually forgotten how many times he's fought this year. I think it was twice. I believe it was against Rufi and Benil. Just load up. I should have had this ready. This is all my fault, by the way. I will point this out. Okay, no. He fought 3 times this year. Once against Karl Prepolek, once against Rufi, once against Benil. And I do remember saying after my 315 recap, after, Della Maddalena goes out there and schools Bilal Muhammad, right? But I do remember saying after that, right? Karl Prepolek in that fight, Benoit Saint-Denis looked the exact same. Looked shit. Like, he did look shit. But somewhere in between May the 10th and September the 6th, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he's juicing. I don't know if he's fucking found God. I don't know what he's done in that, 3-month period, if that 4-month period. But he's just gone on a fucking rampage. He fucking dominated Rufi. Is Rufi as good as we thought? I don't even know. I can't tell if it's a Rufy problem or it's a Benoit Saint Denis problem. But I'm going to say it's a Benoit Saint Denis problem because he looked really fucking good in that matchup. But maybe it's also to do with Rufy as well. Maybe, just maybe. But then, to just cement himself, he beats Beneil Dariush, who was coming off the same win against Moicano. And Beneil, I was thinking after that fight, maybe Beneil is like... Maybe he's always going to be like a top 5 gatekeeper. That's what I always thought about him. And he knocks him out. I know it was like with a fluky-ish punch, but like... It's Beneil Dariush and he's got a fucking weird chin, alright? He's got a weird chin. Some fights he's got like the fucking... the chin of Yuri Barska. And in the next one, the next fight he'll do, he'll have the chin of... fucking... Who's one's a really weak chin? He's got the chin of like... I can't really think at the moment. I don't know. He has a really weak chin is the general point. But... he is now legitimately in like... not title talks, but like contender talks. Like he fights Dan Hooker. I'm probably gonna pick BSD purely off of just Dan Hooker not being able to grapple. It's just a problem in his game. He just cannot grapple for the life of him. Has good take. He's like everyone from City Kickboxing. He has really good striking-ish. He has okay striking. Really good takedown defense. I'll give him his respect on that. And then the minute his back hits the mat, he is garbage. That is my thing. Unless you're Volkanovski, the rest of them are fucking trash. The minute their back hits the ground, they're trash. But yeah, BSD at number 1, man. And you know what? I think BSD can get into the top 3. I'm not gonna lie. Like, think about it. By the end of this year, 2026, when I'm recording this, I've recorded half this video in 2025 and half this video in 2026, just for reference, because I may have done that as well a couple times in this video. Legitimately, I reckon, right? So Gaethje by the end of this year will not be in the rankings, right? As well as that, you got to think everything's going to move up. Everything's going to move up from there, right? We also need to recognise, right, as I pull up the rankings of the division, just let me pull this up a second. I'm not ready. I'm not prepared, right? You got to think, right? Armin isn't getting a title shot. Armin may as well not even be in the UFC. He ain't getting anything. But Gaethje is at number 4. Paddy's at number 5, right? You got to think about it this way. He beats Dan Hooker at number 6. He will be ranked number 6, right? Then everyone will move up one when Gaethje retires by the end of this year. When he gets fucking brutally knocked out by either fucking Paddy or fucking Ilya. So then they're going to move up one. Then he's in the top 5 contention. That is a reformed guy. You know what I mean? If he won the belt this year somehow, I don't know, maybe let's say like Charles Oliveira pulled out, no one took the fight, and then he fucking got in there and somehow beat Ilya. Just imagine, man. But yeah, I don't think he'll ever touch a belt, just for reference. But yeah, just imagine if he did. That would be such a good comeback. But yeah, we never thought the same for you, Peter Yan. Maybe BSD can do the same thing. So for the next topic, I've put Prospect of the Year. So at number 3, I've put Fiesta Ziam. And the reason I put Fiesta Ziam is because he's been grinding in the division. And although he hasn't fought that many times this year, he's fought twice. He has been on such a win streak and just someone to keep your eye on in the division. Technically very sound everywhere. Isn't a finisher though. Just a thing. He just isn't a finisher. But he's fucking really good. And he's something to keep your eye on in 2026. I do think... Isn't he ranked 15 now? I saw a post saying he's number 15, which is really fucking good. Right? So he fights Mike Davis. And he wins via unanimous decision. Right? And then he fights Nazim Sadikov. Someone in the division who was on... How many fight win streak? He was on a 2-fight win streak with both KOs, brutal knockouts. I remember doing research for the fight and being like, right, Fiesta Ziam might get finished in this fight. And Fiesta Ziam finished the finisher, and he isn't much of a finisher. If he like Fiesta Ziam, if he had more fights, I'd put him higher, but he didn't have any much fights. And I know he was supposed to fight against, what was his name, Fernandez, and then he pulled out. But, you know, he had family problems. I think his family died, so he has that thing. But if he was more active, I would put him higher, but I can't put him any higher fighting twice a year. But if he fights 3 times next year, he could be on this list. That's if they even do it next year. That's if they give us a fucking another 6-week hiatus. I can't be fucked, to be honest. And at number 2, we have Kevin Vallejos. And you know I'm very high on Kevin Vallejos. I think he's going to be a future champion. I'm putting it out there right now. He will be a future champion. And he fought at the beginning of the year. He fought some Chinese dude. He's supposed to be really good. I can't really remember much of that fight. I just remember him knocking him out, and it was a brutal finish. But the reason why Kevin Vallejos is just higher than Fiesta Ziam, even though Fiesta Ziam is probably a better fighter, maybe, is because Fiesta Ziam fought twice, Kevin Vallejos fought 3 times this year, and he's went from unranked to fighting someone. I don't know. Danny Silva's good, but like I don't know what the fuck he was doing in that fight. So can I really call him good? And then he fights Giga Chikadze, knocks him out, and yeah, he fights, and he's now in the rankings. I think at 15 as well. So he's fought 3 times, 3 finishes. I believe, and 2 finishes, 1 decision because Danny Silva was taunting, acting like he was up, but he didn't really do much at all. I don't know what that was about, but yeah, when people actually fight him, he gets the finish. And maybe that was his plan, not to fight him, and you don't get finished. Always a thing. But yeah, Giga Chikadze knocks him out, and now he's in the rankings. Hey. And at number 1, we've put Quillan Salkhild, the minority killer, Pakistan's favourite fighter, apparently. I wouldn't know. I'm more a fan of a chicken tikka masala myself. So he starts off the year, UFC 312, fights Anshul Jubilee, knocks out the chicken tikka masala, and yeah, beats him up, knocks him out in 19 seconds, gets a highlight reel out of him. Then 316, he fights, it's Yanal. Alright, so he fights Yanal, who is Jewish. He fights Yanal, who is Jewish, and he beats him via decision. And yeah, I've just found that really funny, to be honest. He's literally beaten every, the lowest amount of minorities he can do, I swear. And then he fights Hakparast, who is Afghani. Knocks him out as well. This guy does not like minorities, does he? That's a joke. I can actually get done for defamation, couldn't I, for that? But yeah, he's won this year. He's got loads of finishes. That's all good with me. I think he's got all finishes as well. So yeah, that's why he's prospect of the year. So for the next topic, I've put fighter of the year. Now this is one I've seen where it's so bad. I've seen some people put Makachev at number 1 for fighting a guy who was made to lose to him and a guy that can't grapple. And then I've also seen another video where they've put Marab at 1 even though he's lost. You cannot win if you've lost, right? So I'm going to do everyone a favour and make the correct top 3 fighters of the year. Now I don't really care about if you're fighting unranked or ranked opponents, but at number 3, I've got Quillan Salkhild, and the reason I've got Quillan Salkhild at number 3 is because he's fought 3 minorities, and he's knocked them all out, right? And he is now probably going to be fighting for a shot in the rankings. They have given him this fucking Chinese dude just made to lose to him, which it's pretty shit. You give him a ranked opponent, man. I know he's young, but just give him a ranked opponent, right? But I've got Quillan Salkhild at number 3 because he's got 3 knockouts, slowly worked his way up, started with the worst fighter in UFC, worked him up to someone who is slightly better than him in the Jewish guy, and then slightly better than, Hakparast is really good, he's kind of mid-level lightweight, and then he fights a mid-level lightweight in Hakparast and knocks his bitch ass out. So yeah, that's 3 knockouts, 3 minorities, all dead. So at number 2, I've got Merab Dvalishvili, and I know I says he can't be number 1, and I stand by that. He can't be number 1, but he needs to be on the list. He's fought 4 times this year. Fought Umar, embarrassed Umar. I got a profile picture out of that fight, and yeah, he fought Umar. Then he fights Sean O'Malley, chokes him out. Then he fights Sanhagen. Almost got like fraud. If he didn't rock him, he probably would have got fraud check right there. Just saying, like, first round he was literally making him look shit. He would like Sanhagen was making Merab look shit in the first round. And I do stand by that, right? And I do stand by the rock. When Merab rocked him, that's when Corey kind of stepped back a bit. And then he fights my boy Peter Yan, and Peter Yan. And Peter Yan schooled him. But although I don't like Merab's fighting style, I'll say that much. I don't like Merab's fight style. I think it's very boring. I think it's a lot of clinch, a lot of holding against the fence, a lot of emotes to make it look like he's winning a fight when he's not really doing much. He has to be at number 2. He's fought 4 times, got a finish. Embarrassed Umar. He's beaten Nurmagomedov, which that tells you enough, to be honest. And then he lost to Peter Yan, which no one was really expecting. No one was really expecting that at all. But yeah, I've got my number 2, and number 1 is Joshua Van. Joshua Van is number 1 undoubtedly. Started off the year unranked, finished the year the champion. Say what you want about him winning the belt and essentially toppling over Pantoja onto his elbow and snapping it off, but he is undeniably number 1 fighter of the year. I don't really understand how you can have anyone else but Joshua Van. Makhachev literally fought Moicano and then laid on top of JDM. Joshua Van literally finished like basically all of his opponents, hasn't he? And he had fighter of the year. And I've noticed every single person has said that is fight of the year too, which is a great idea. You know, we should all go for that. But yeah, Joshua Van is number 1. He's had fight of the year this year, and then he comes back and then fights the champion by the end of the year. 2 weeks before fight of the year, he fought Bruno Silva and destroyed him essentially. And then somewhere between that, he's fought somebody else as well. I can't remember who that was. I think it was like some other Asian guy. Yeah, it was some Asian guy, and he finished him as well, which is great. So, Joshua Van, super good fighter. I just don't like how like if he beat Pantoja, then I would be like, yeah, great, and I like actually beat him. But he didn't actually beat Pantoja. Pantoja just broke his elbow. But you could argue he pushed him over. And then Pantoja landed on his arm funny, so he did technically win that fight. Who pushed him over? Pantoja didn't push himself over, did he? So you could argue he still won that fight, but yeah, just a weird ending, but you have to give it to Joshua Van purely off of that basis. And for the next topic, I've got best finish of the year. I couldn't put KO because there's so many good KOs, and I couldn't put submission because they were all shit, but yeah, I'm just going to put it all into one. And top finishes of the year, newsflash, they're all fucking knockouts because all the submissions this year are complete arse cheeks. So at number 3, we've got Gregory Rodriguez versus Jack Hermanson, and gosh, he almost killed him. He had him out there like Bryce Mitchell against Josh Emmett. He almost killed him. And just so you know, I haven't got Ilia Topuria on this list. Just, I know the Charles Oliveira thing where it was a good knockout, but I was kind of expecting that to happen. I just was expecting it to happen. But Gregory Rodriguez legitimately murdered Jack Hermanson. Like, just go rewatch the knockout, and that'll explain why it is at number 3. But the other 2 are just better than this knockout, so that's why I've got it at number 3. And at number 2, we've got Leroy Murphy versus Aaron Pico. And the reason this is at number 2 is just kind of like the, for 318, or no, 319, the card was actually pretty alright, actually, except for the main event, right? But Pico, for a second, I genuinely thought Pico was about to beat a top 15 contender, and I was literally there like, fuck, like my prediction's gonna be wrong. My prediction's gonna be wrong. I was like, shit, I'm gonna lose this shit. And then Lerone Murphy pulls out the nastiest, like, spinning elbow attack I've ever seen in my life. He was also yanking on, I think it was Pico's shoulder. But the reason it's not a number one, because I do see people putting this at number one, we don't know if Pico is a top contender. He looked like a top contender, but we don't actually know that until he fights again. But that knockout was insane. He literally timed his step out. So as he did step out, he would step into an elbow. That is so good. That is so technical. But for some reason, people did genuinely think that he was going to knock out Volkanovski in December if that fight was going to happen. So dumb. I don't understand that. He's got one finish in his entire career in UFC. But yeah, Murphy versus Pico is at number 2. And at number 1, we've got Rufi versus Green. I don't really think I have to talk much about this knockout. Just go watch the highlight reel. It's pretty obvious this is going to be number 1, and every single major MMA promotion has done that. Put it at number 1 as well. So yeah, the spinning heel kick was brutal. It was very fucking brutal. But I don't think I have to talk much about this. Just go watch it. I probably cannot put it in the video for context. So yeah. Next topic I've chosen performance of the year, and yeah, there's only 3 correct choices on here, so let me just get into it. At number 3, we've got Volkanovski versus Lopez. As already said, no one expected Volkanovski to win this fight. We all thought he was going to get knocked out in like a round, right? And he comes out, and he basically, I'm not going to say dominates because it was a 3-2 decision, but like in terms of skill, he was pretty much up every single round in terms of strikes. But then Lopez would land one big shot, drop him, or really, really hurt him, and yeah, that would be what win him the round. And Lopez has a really good chance in the rematch, by the way, just saying, and I'm very scared of Volkanovski in this scenario. But yeah, Volkanovski is at number 3. Basically comes back better as a better Volkanovski, which is crazy. So yeah, we got Volkanovski at number 3. At number 2, we've got Jack Della Maddalena versus Belal Muhammad. I think this one speaks for itself as well, but everyone thought Belal Muhammad was just going to lay, and that was one of my better predictions, lay on top of JDM for fucking 5 rounds like Islam Makhachev did, but JDM was too good for Belal Muhammad, and yeah, pieces him up. He has improved his grappling, but he still can't grapple, can he? Maybe I'm just judging that Islam fight way too harshly, but I thought you'd do better than that, Jack. I really did. But Jack Della Maddalena and Belal Muhammad, what a scrap, but like it wasn't close at all. He won every single round clear. Live, I think I did 4-1, being very fucking generous because I was on this like Belal Muhammad kind of be very nice to Belal Muhammad sort of thing because I felt bad for him. But JDM clearly won every single round. And the reason this is higher than Volkanovski versus Lopez is because it was a clear 5-round schooling. Volkanovski lost 2 rounds. You can't really put him above that. But yeah, and there was a lot more damage, and it was a lot more fun and scrappy. So well done, JDM. JDM is I can't wait to see him take a year out, improve his grappling, and he's going to come back and he's taking the belt of Islam. Watch him do this. And at number 1, we've got Peter Yan versus Dvalishvili 2. This kind of speaks for itself, to be honest, but Peter Yan legitimately beats Merab in his own game, his game, and everything else. He is the best fighter right now, pound for pound. He just needs to prove it. I genuinely believe that. I really do believe that. So I cannot wait for him to do so. He probably beats Umar as well. Probably. And yeah, most likely beats Umar. And when that does happen, the slurs that are going to come off Twitter is going to be fucking great. I'm going to love reading through them all. And yeah, Peter Yan legitimately beats him 5 rounds, dominates him. Actually dominates him, not a Marab fucking 3-2 dominant decision in quotations. But yeah, we got Yan at number 1. And for the last topic of this almost 70-minute long video, it is fight of the year, and I've seen people do this so awfully. So this is fight of the year. So at number 3 we've got Prohaska versus Hill, and this was a scrap. This was better than Umar and Marab in my opinion that happened straight afterwards. This was such a good scrap, and not many people talk about it because I think Marab getting the upset really overshadowed it. But yeah, but Prohaska legitimately schooled Hill, but at the same time, it was still a scrap because Hill was still doing the grit down, still trying to plod forward and try and scrap with him. But Prohaska was counter him into shots, and it was so good, man. Especially live because I had Hill winning, and because of the chin stuff I was on about earlier, I thought his chin wouldn't be the same, and I've just reckoned Hill would have just countered him and knocked him out cold. And yeah, watching that shit live was yeah, he isn't going anywhere. Prohaska is genuinely not going anywhere. So yeah. And at number 2 we've got Jadika versus Motta. And this fight can only be described as, you know that Looney Tunes character that it's like a dog thing that runs around, and it's like a tornado. It's kind of like that, but imagine 2 people fighting like that and they're just swinging. It was basically that. Obviously Sadikov got the knockout victory, but this was wild watching it live. I was on my phone just oh, it's going to be another one of them boring ass scraps. I didn't really know much about Sadikov, so I was kind of off and off my phone. I think I opened my phone and I knew it was going to be a scrap the second the bell went, and I just turned it off. And yeah. Oh, it was such a great fight. Reminded me that Looney Tunes character. I just don't know his name, which would have been so much funnier. But yeah. At number 1, we've got Van versus Royval. You probably guessed it. I think I've already said it too. I thought I already did this part. But fight of the year, Van versus Royval, one of the best fights of the year, undeniably. And I do think this is a solid list. Looking at it, looking at the picture on the screen, this is a solid list. This is solid. But this fight was the best display of entertainment, fighting, and even skill. You had, obviously Van's known as a boxer, but he was also using his push kicks to determine the range as the shorter fighter. You had Royval using his fucking volume to try and overwhelm Van, which was working in moments, and they're both landing good shots, rocking each other, making each other bleed. It was fucking great. And then Van lands the shot of the round, determining him clearly winning the fight. Van wins by dropping him in the 3rd round. Such a good fight, man. I wish I could rewatch this without knowing what's going to happen. It's one of them. It's like when you play Red Dead 2 for the first time and you wish you could replay the game without knowing what's going to happen. Spoiler alert, Arthur dies, you moron. But yeah, spoiler alert, because it's fucking 2026 and people still haven't played that game, and they're going to act like I'm not going to spoiler alert them. I just hate that shit. But yeah, we've got Van versus Royval at number 1, and yeah. But that is the end of the video. That's all the topics. These are my rewards of the year. And yeah, my Twitter's on the screen. Follow it, please. I do love torturing it. This is a wrong picture, by the way, because everything is different now. But needs to be updated, essentially. But yeah, that's the video. So like, subscribe, and if you did actually watch the whole video, just do me a favour and comment 010. There you go, 010. Right, cool. And yeah.